Alright guys, so this three-way crossover came from a poll over on Patreon. And as always, if you guys would like to be part of these polls, to vote on these Patreon videos, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon. You guys can hit the first tier to just interact with polls and movie reviews. Anyway, so yeah, let's get into it. Now, this one pretty much came as a tie. Like, I'm gonna do and the thing is, the two that tied the poll, it was fascinating because like they had essentially it was like two really good ideas. That was the big thing, was that it was two really good ideas. And normally sometimes I would do both or just do tiebreaker. But the thing is, the two that were that tied were both really damn good. That's the thing, is that they were both really damn good. That's the problem, is that they had both had a lot of potential. So I was like, in the words of a villain from the villain from Wild Wild West, we'll take them both. Anyway, so we're going to do the first of those three, and that is, as you can see, Far Cry, Randy Cunningham, and Predator. Yeah, we're doing a video game, movie, and cartoon crossover all in one. Now, you may be wondering, well, which Far Cry are we doing here? Like, what's the main focus of this crossover? Like, what is going to be, like, which Far Cry, because there's so many. Well, we're going to go back to all the way to Far Cry 3. Arguably the game that really set the standard for all the other games afterwards. Whether that be helpful or hurtful, that's a debate for another time. But anyway, so this story begins with Randy and the others on a plane, because their school had basically been on a massive field trip, and reason being is even Randy's like, how do we get money to do this with all this monster attacks and whatever? And they're like, oh, it got paid by McFist, and he's like, that tracks. It's compensation for all the robots that went that apparently the quote unquote rogue robots that went insane and destroyed the school. So he's paying for a trip to Europe. He's paying for a excursion to Europe for the school. But however, a bad storm, the pilot didn't take into account a horrible storm that came rolling in and downed them on an unknown island. And that island is run by a bunch of pirates, specifically one Vas Montenegro. So Vas obviously kidnaps the class, and Randy actually wants to get away. He tries to, but the problem is he lost the mask in the wreckage. He didn't have it, so now he has to. Even though he did get away, the plane site has been scavenged by the pirates. So now he's all by his lonesome. And while he does meet the native islanders who are at war with Voss's pirates, he actually is like, look, I gotta go to that plane site and look for, there's something there that'll help me fight it. But they're like, no, you can't go. But so Randy now has to depend on he still has the Nomicon. He did manage to have that. But the problem is that, well, he doesn't have the mask, so he has to depend more on his skill alone. That's the thing that he has to hold on to, are his skills as a warrior. So Randy basically has to train himself to fight without the mask. And while he does carry over a lot of the training that the mask has, he doesn't have the extra gadgets, so he has to build pouches and remember how he crafted all of his weapons. Now the islanders do try to get him to use guns, but he's like, I'm not doing that. I'm not using guns. I'm gonna go Oliver Queen on this shit. Although he does accept the bow and arrow. So he does accept the bow and arrow, but he says I'm not using guns, and I'm just gonna Oliver Queen this shit. So he sets out to find find the students while they're still on the island before they get sold off or killed. Especially the girls, they're in the most danger. But while Randy is training himself and fighting the pirates, someone else has shown up. Another third party has made their presence known, and they're looking to, take a few trophies of their own. That being a predator. A predator has come to the island and is when it lands, it actually lands and encounters a tiger. And the predator fights and kills the tiger, takes its skin and its scalp, and actually takes the skull back to his lair, but he keeps the skin and puts it part of his robe, not like a robe, but more like a sash. He makes the tiger skin like a sash. So from there, the predator goes on a killing spree that is just he is just hacking and slashing his way through anyone he sees. Now, Randy, like I said, is in the middle of trying to save his people, but as he's battling some of the pirates, he notices something often hiding in the trees, just watching him. He can't really, it's like that moment in Predator with Billy, where he's like, there's something in those trees. But the Predator just, leaves. It just it quickly vanishes, but he's like, I know I saw something. So he's like, I don't know if that was if one of McFist's robots have come or something else, but this is I can't really depend on the idea of I can't trust myself right now. That's the thing. It's I can't trust my senses, but I know I feel like there's something else going on here. While back with Voss, he's very angry at the fact that now there's some guy running around in a makeshift ninja suit. Yeah, Randy built his own makeshift ninja costume, and he's exceptionally pissed off at the idea of this guy is probably killed. Now he's heard reports of finding his men skinned alive and without their heads. So the Predator and Randy are kind of circling Voss, and Voss is crazy enough to begin with. So he's convinced it's whoever this masked guy is, he is the one behind these attacks. So he's sending all of his forces to go after him. And he's also convinced that this is probably Randy, because it was the kid that got away, and now he's saving all of his friends. Yeah, figures. So Randy did manage to save Howard. He saved Heidi. He saved Julian. He saved a lot of them. He's kept them away from people. But the thing is that the more he does this, the more the Predator becomes more interested in him. And he's like, okay, Namacon, do you know anything about an invisible hunter? And the Namacon lays down that there was something that one of the ninjas encountered ages ago, way back. Dating back to the first ninja, is that the first ninja encountered this predator. In fact, it's the same predator that's here now, and it was wounded, but it did take a trophy of its own, the ninja's original sword. So it ended in a draw. But now the predator wants to get finish the job and get his skull, and Randy's like, oh, good. If you're wondering why I keep looking over the side, by the way, there's a incoming hurricane, so I'm just just kind of watching the bands starting to come in, so I'm sorry about that. Anyway, so as I was saying, Randy now finds himself, this predator is coming after me, and he even nicknames it because he sees it, he encounters it, and during the fight it decloaks, and he gives it the nickname Tiger. So the Predator and him fight. In the midst of this, Voss and his men are like, what the, this is real insanity now. So they're fighting. Pirates start shooting at both of them. The two break away, but they're not teaming up. They're just it's a free-for-all. It turns into a free-for-all between the Predator, the Pirates, and Randy as they're all fighting their way. Meanwhile, Voss has got Teresa, and he's like, I'm going to shoot this bitch right in your head, boy. I'm going to kill him right in front of you. But the Predator, sees the gun. He doesn't try to save Teresa, but he does, angle it so it's, just blasts Voss's face right off and claims his head for a trophy. Randy gets him, and he's like, I'm done. We're done. The fight's over. I forfeit. And the Predator's just like, okay. So, and he even Randy gives him his own sword, and he's like, "This is how you win, right? Like, you won last time because the first ninja submitted to you. Well, I'm submitting here." Predator's like, "Just give me that shit." Go. Predator leaves. So there you go, guys. That is pretty much my three-way crossover between Far Cry, Randy Cunningham, and Predator. You guys tell me in the comments below what you guys think of this one. And once again, thank you all for voting on this. I know it was a tie, and I will do the other one as soon as I can. Anyway, once again, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in Multiverse.